hopefully, if you're all okay and we're okay, we will just switch over to Emma and get started. Okay, Emma.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for looking on to our very first ever alumni webinar. And if this goes well, we hope to do many more. So my name's Emma Turner, and I'm the Aerospace Information Specialist at Cranfield. And this is my colleague, Rachel Daniels, who works in the library down at Shrivenham. We're also joined by another colleague, Tracy Nunn, who's based in the Burke Library in the School of Management. Rachel and I are very good on engineering and technical information. Tracy's good on business and management, so we have her here as well to help us out if you have any questions that we can't answer. Okay, so I'm not sure how many of you are already using this service, but this is a little bit of background information for you. It's available to all alumni, and it is an electronic-only service, which includes some of the top databases that you will have been using, hopefully, when you were here at Cranfield, and also top-quality academic publications. This bit's important. It's really vital that you don't use the resources for commercial purposes, because we have database licenses that we have signed. So it's fine for you to use for your lifelong professional and personal development to keep yourselves up to date, but not for commercial purposes. And the really good news is it's free. It costs you absolutely nothing, and we're pretty certain that it's probably the best alumni library service in the world.
Definitely the best.
Right, definitely the best one in the world. So how can you access it? Recently, the service has moved behind the main university alumni portal, and you should have received an email from the team with your new password information. If you haven't had that email, please just email the alumni email address and they will be very happy to help you out. I will be showing you how to do the login in a minute. But you go to alumni.cranfield.ac.uk. It's important, don't type the www bit in, which is the mistake I made the other day. We don't need that bit. And there is also a video on the Cranfield University Library's YouTube channel to help you out. If you have questions about the service itself, please email us, and Rachel and I will do our best to help you. Okay, so what do you get access to? 6 key databases. We're going to be looking at some of those in a minute. Alongside those databases, we offer you links to high-quality subject-specific resources and a few other bits and bobs as well that you can explore once you've logged in. So the plan for this session is really just to give you some hints and tips on how we think you could exploit the service. So how to do some basic subject searching, how you can use the resources for job hunting and interviews to get yourselves prepared, keeping up with what's going on in relevant scholarly journals in your subject area, keeping up to date with what's going on in your field in general, and also a little bit at the end about reference management software for those keen people out there. So this is just to show you what the login screen will look like. So what I need to do now is actually switch over and show you how you need to log in. Perhaps I should have said that this is the first webinar that Rachel and I have ever done, so bear with us. So I'm hoping you can see this. So this is the login screen that you will be confronted with once you've typed the web address into your browser. So I'm going to put my username in, and very nicely it's remembered it for me. Put my password in, and then I'm going to log in. And now we are into the alumni portal. Lots of good stuff on here, but the bit that we're interested in this morning is actually here on that grey bar. It reads Alumni Library Online. So if I click onto here, it will take you through to the service. And you can see here there are various different blobs and images for different parts of the service, and we're going to be looking in particular at the databases area here. On the left-hand side, there is a quick browse. So I'm going to click onto databases, and then that will take us in to list the key databases. And I'm going to show a couple of things that you can do, and then I'm going to hand over to Rachel, who's going to show you a few more. So the first one I'm going to show you is called ABI, and those of you that have done business and management at Cranfield, I'm fairly sure you will be familiar with this one. This is an alumni version of the database, but it still has thousands of full-text academic articles that you can access. So I'm going to click on the link, and I'm going to show you the kinds of thing you can do. So the search that we've come up with, because we are engineering-y kind of people, is driverless vehicles, which is quite a key topic for Cranfield at the moment. So if I just search on that, it will come through with 591 results. And you can see from the little icons appearing to the left of each result what it is you've actually found. So you can see quite a wide range of resources: wire feeds, newspapers, trade journals. So a good range of resources to keep you updated with what's going on. However, you're probably going to be more interested in what you can see in full. So in order to do that, underneath the search box, you'll see there's a full text. So if I click there, you have to remember, because I keep forgetting, to click on the magnifying glass, and then it will actually do that for us. So we have limited ourselves back down to 536 now. So we've got rid of a few. So you can see there is a lot of full text information on there. In order to view a full article, all you need to do is click onto the full text option. I won't do that now, because I'm not sure how fast this will be. Sometimes you may have an option for a PDF. I'm just looking to see if I can see one, and I can't. The other thing you can do is you could specify, for example, actually, I want to look at peer-reviewed information, and then that will get you results. We can see the icons are changing. We're down to 14, so significantly fewer, and that has found us results in scholarly journals. Obviously, we work in the library, so we like scholarly journals, so that's a good thing that you can do. If I just uncheck that and go back so that we find more results, something that you might want to do, especially when it comes to preparing for an interview or an internal review, you can sort the results by publication date so that you can see the most recent papers first. So that's quite a handy thing to do. Click on to sort, and it will go off and reorder them so we see the most recent first. The other thing you can do that you might find useful, if I scroll down to the bottom right-hand side, we can enter a specific date range. So I could be very, very specific, and I could say, actually, I literally just want the last 12 months or so and update my search. Oh, no, thank you, not quite now. If I scroll up, so that search was on driverless vehicles, but we're librarians and we like to think, actually, you know, there might be a better keyword than that, so I thought of autonomous vehicles. So it's always worth trying different searches, because you never know, you might actually find that you get better results. And you can see in this case we've now found over 3,500 papers. So actually autonomous vehicles is probably a much better search term to use driverless. So I hope you found that useful. There's a lot of really useful information. What I'm going to do now is show you another data. Now, if I'm just trying to work out if I shut that tab, yeah, okay, here we are. So, EBSCO, this is for alumni. Now, because we're on campus, we are seeing things slightly differently as to how you would see them at home. So if I click into the EBSCO research databases, I can see a great big long list. Unfortunately, when you log in from off-site, you won't see that list. What you will actually see is, scroll down, you will see the link through to the Business Source Alumni Edition. So this is a similar database to ABI, but it also has quite a lot of marketing information on here too. So for example, say you were going for an interview with a company, or just needing to do some research on a company, what you can do is type the company name, and then I don't know if you ever bothered in the past, because we're librarians, we do this a lot.
We love our fields.
We love our fields. To click on the drop-down menu and choose company entity. That will search for all information on the database that is particularly about Boeing. So I'm going to do my search, and we can see that we found a lot. We found nearly 12,000 results. On the left-hand side are all the different types of information that's available. And what I can do is actually choose a SWOT analysis. So if I choose that and update my search, you'll see here that we can actually get the full text of a Boeing company SWOT analysis, which I think would be really useful. It's the kind of thing you'd need if you were job hunting. Other things you can do, if I uncheck the SWOT analysis, I could say, actually, I'm interested in seeing market research reports. It's found a lot. It's found over 650. So similar to ABI, what I can do is actually sort those results to see the newest first. And then, if I was feeling particularly inclined, I could actually type in another keyword and do my search and find market research information about the Boeing Dreamliner. So really high quality information that you can get from these resources. So I hope you found that useful. What I'm going to do now is hand over to Rachel, and she's going to tell you about a few more of our resources.
Just quickly before we start, as we've got a question
on
something you asked, or something spoke about, we'll just ask that quickly.
Yeah.
If someone downloads a PDF, are they able to share it? Is it watermarked? And are there additional rights you can pay for?
Oh, that's a very good question. Are they watermarked? Shall we have a look at one? I think what it would give you is the source.
I think it depends on the database.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to show you IEEE later. IEEEs are, generally when we do them on campus now anyway, the basic rule of thumb is you shouldn't pass them on, really. Obviously, I'm going to show you some open access journals that are available to everybody, but I think rule of thumb is don't pass it on because this is for your personal use. So don't take the risk, because you could be passing on something that is licensed only because you're alumni of Cranfield. So it's better not to, really.
And we don't have an option to pay, I'm afraid, either.
No, there isn't an option for that.
No. Okay, so thank you for that question. I hope we've answered it for you. I'm going to pass mouse and keyboard over to Rachel. Do you want it left or right? I know you're left-handed.
Well, I'm left-handed, but I have a mouse in the right way.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to talk about how you can keep up with your favourite journals and keep up to date in your subject area generally. Now, I'm going to begin by using the SAGE Journals database. This is a really good database for all of you because it's what we call multidisciplinary, so it covers a vast range of subjects that are published by SAGE. Now, one of these databases is slightly different from one that Emma's shown you before, because for this one you will need to use a login to get through to the full text. So the username and password are always on this page, so you don't have to try and remember, but just think that when you get to clicking on the full text, it will probably ask you to log in. Whether it will do that today or not, we're not sure because we're on campus, but you will certainly be asked to log in with this. Of course, if you use SAGE a lot, you might get into the habit of remembering it. So we're going to go into SAGE. Now, we've already done some searching. You can opt to search across the journals, or you can click on the search option there. You can do an advanced search if you're feeling really fancy. But I'm going to browse the journal list today, and I'm going to look for one of my favourite journals, which is called Journal of Composite Materials. It's more interesting than Cosmopolitan, trust me, it's brilliant. Now you can search journals by title. You can also search by discipline. We'll come back and have a look at that at the moment. Then click on journals by title. And then we're looking for Journal of Composite Materials. Click on J and then expand J. Mouse skills, not good today. And then just find my chosen journal. There we go. Might take a little while to load. Don't have a party piece ready, card tricks or jokes or anything. Just wait for that to load.
Here we go.
We're there. Yay! Yeah. Okay. So this is the journal page, and what you can do is you can look at the current issue, which is June 2015, or you can look at the archive, and it goes back to 1967. So you're getting a huge amount of information there, obviously. We'll just look at the current issue. Okay. And from there, you just find one that you're interested in. You might want to have a look at the abstract first, just to make sure that it's the sort of thing you're interested in, because it's not always easy to tell from the title of an article whether it's going to be useful for you or not. But if you're pretty sure it's the one that you want, you can click on the full text. And if you were off campus, if you're working from your office at home, this is probably where it's going to ask you to log in. But I think for us, we'll just download the PDF. But obviously, if you forget what the password is, you can simply nip back to your previous page and think, that's the one I need to use. That filled the space. So hopefully that should load our PDF. There we go. So it really is easy for that. I'll just go back to the front page because we mentioned that you could also search. You can also browse by discipline. So if you're not sure, you haven't formed an opinion about your favourite journal yet, you could go to search for your subject area. And these are quite broad subject areas. We'll just nip into one of them, materials science, and show you what's involved. We're engineering people, aren't we? So obviously we're going to head towards engineering. It's a given. And then all the journals that Sage believes match this area are then listed on the right-hand side. And all of the engineers out there, if we have got any registered today, we'll be particularly pleased to see the Proceedings of the INEC are in there. That's our favourite. And especially for EMRA, Journal of Aerospace Engineering. This does take a little while to load up, but it does get there eventually. So I think that's just a really neat way if you've not sort of formed opinion of what your favourite journals are. And there we go. And again, you've got the current issue, the little ahead, it's July, excellent. And then all the previous issues there as well. Now, what you can do with many of our databases, in particular Sage, is you can sign up to get alerts when your favourite journal is published. This is a really great way of not having to do really much work, and the information is sent to you. I think it's fabulous. So if you get an opportunity to do this, if you fancy doing this, it's really easy. All you need to do is to sign up for a free personal account. So if you click on sign in at the top of the page, if you don't have an account already, you just click on here, and it takes literally a couple of minutes. I think I did it this morning, actually. And I already have one prepared, so we'll sign in and show you what it looks like. Just get the right account. I can't type in these things without singing. I'm sorry, it's terrible. La, la, la. Okay. I think I might have done something wrong. Let's try that. Fingers crossed.
No, that's it.
Is it in?
Yeah,
we're in.
you're
Excellent.
in.
Okay. So from that point, if you were interested in getting alerts every time this journal is published, I believe you click on email alert. Drum roll. I think what this teaches us is the art of patience, doesn't it? Being a librarian, you become very patient waiting for things to load. Now, what you want to do is add content alerts, but you can also see here that you've got other sorts of alerts you can set up. We probably haven't got time to go into this today. Maybe we could do another webinar on this later. So you can actually save a search. So you could put a search in and save that. So every time it matched your search, it would email you. Or you can actually track a particular article. So every time somebody cites the article that you're interested in, it will let you know so that you can sort of build on your research. But we're interested in just getting table of contents today. So you click on content alerts, and then you can make there's various options there, but I want to get the table of contents. But each time this journal is published, click on submit. It will send me an email telling me that it's ready, and I just go in and then I can read it. Easy, really. Yeah, if you've got the patience to wait for the page to load. It's one of these things that I think is available in lots of databases, but people don't
know.
Them, and I'm not really sure why,
well,
because it's so easy.
Yeah, it's something that we tell PhD and research students about, that most of the databases, if you dig around somewhere, there will be an area where you can create alerts.
Yeah, you're usually looking
to your
alerts,
interest.
aren't you?
Yeah.
So although we've seen 3 databases now today, and they've all looked quite different, but you can search them the same way.
Yeah, they all sort of
very
do similar things.
Yeah. Okay, so just to show you how to do a search, if we did a search in the top, conflict resolution is something we do a lot. I should say at my college, not in my office necessarily, but so conflict resolution, it'll find everything you saved with those words anywhere in the record. Okay, and again, if you wanted to save this search over on the right-hand side, now because we're logged in, you just click on there, and that will save that into your personal account. So any time that an article is added to this database that matches that search, you will be told about. Now, you want to be a little bit careful about when you say the search, because this is a very broad search that I've done here. So you may want to make sure that your search is not a huge amount of results. You've done quite a narrow search, so you're only getting things that are really useful to you. But it's so easy. I would recommend doing it, because it's so easy to do, and I think so few people sort of take us up on it.
It saves time.
And that's always a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to come out of this database now, because I'm going to show you a free resource that can also help keep up to date with journals, because we're here only looking at stage journals, but we have a system whereby, I'm going to go into the useful websites section, because that's where our free resources are. So we can come with databases. I'm going to go to useful websites. There's a section here on keeping up to date, and there are various services in there, but we're going to concentrate on what we think is the largest, biggest, which is Journal Talks. Now, this is a free collection of table of contents. Now, if we go into this, we'll show you how many journals it covers. It's over 26,500 journals. It's massive coverage. Now, if you find things in here, you're not necessarily going to get the full text, because maybe we've not subscribed and because we only have sort of 4 subscription databases, 5 subscription databases. But as you can maybe see from the centre of this page, there are a lot of open access journals covered in here. Now, open access, I don't know if you're familiar with that phrase. Basically, it means it's free to everybody, which is brilliant. Yeah. We love that kind of thing. And there are different ways you can search it. You can use search box here. You could, at the moment, it's going to search for journals by title, but you could also search for articles by keyword. So it's quite flexible. Now, my mum always told me, when you've heard this before, my mum always told me that when we're doing a demonstration, you should always give a concrete example. So I'm going to search for concrete, boom. That'll only be the only joke today, I promise. So we're going to search for journals that have concrete in the title. Now, we've got our results here. Now, you can see, probably, on your screen that several of them have OA next to them. Now, this means that they are open access journals. That means that the full text you'll be able to get through to. It doesn't matter whether you're subscribed, it's free to everybody. If you come across in Journal Talks, they like to use little icons quite a lot. If you're not sure what they mean, if you click on the help screen, as well as lots of other help on searching, down here, they tell you what it means. So anything that's got OA next to it, or green, is good, because it's going to be partially free or free. I don't seem to click on the back key. Okay. So, just to give you an example, if I click on one of my other favourite journals, International of Concrete, excellent. What you should be able to do is to then click on the title, and it will load up a PDF for you. You can actually, I probably won't click on download PDF because it's a little bit slow, but if you want to do HTML version in here, you can click on there. Very easy. Super.
If you notice, can you notice the cross mark area on the screen here? That's quite new. If you ever find a PDF or a full text paper with the cross mark logo on it, click on it and it will take you through to an information page, and it will tell you whether you are looking at the most recent version of that paper. Increasingly nowadays, journal articles have corrections and amendments, or in rare cases they are retracted. So clicking on the cross mark logo, if you see it, means that you know that you're looking at the most recent version of that article. So that's quite important.
I hope I learned that today. That's new for me. So thanks for that. Cheers. I always learn things by doing this. What I want to do, if we want to go back to the, to that page. Because what I was going to say, that obviously we've just gone in and searched this, but within Journal Tops you can also set up alerts as well. Now what you need to do again is sign up for a free account, and again I did this morning. If you're new, you can sign up there. It takes seconds to do. Again, it's totally free, no payment necessary. It's not the Cranfield way, is it, to pay for stuff? I think it is my full email address. And then completely different password because I never reuse passwords ever. And click on sign in. Now, the only slightly annoying thing with Journal Tops is you notice it hasn't saved our search. So if you wanted to save the concrete journal, you'd need to do the search again, but it's very easy to. You can see I've signed up for lots of really boring librarianship journals. So just run that search again. And then all you need to do is click on that little box that says follow. Now, the only tip I'll give you with this is, when you're searching it, remember to sign in first, because if you're just using it and you click on follow, that's not going to work. You've got to sign in with your account, then click on follow, and that will save it into your account. And then, when the next issue of this journal is published, you'll get a little email to say, come and read me. And if it's an open access journal, then you will be able to see the full text. I think that's probably what we do on Journal Tops. It's a really good stepping stone. Not enough people use it, in my opinion.
And it's free,
completely
free for anybody.
Okay, so the last database we're going to show you is a very special database. It's very dear to my heart. So we're going to go back into the databases section, and we're going to look at IEEE ASPP Online. This is a database that we have on trial at the moment up until November, and we're really hoping, if we talk nicely to the alumni office, that we'll be able to afford to keep it on, because it's really one for the engineers, isn't it? It's fantastic, because you might have noticed that traditionally a lot of our database supplied for alumni are quite management based. Now that's great if you're a management person, but not all of you are. So what we've tried to do is to extend the range of engineering resources that we have, and so we negotiated with the IEEE. It's a Cranfield success story, isn't it? Yeah. We negotiated with the IEEE with the help of Content Online, and they've allowed, not just us, but this is a trial for everybody, so all universities can pay for this if they wish to. And it's got the full text of 160 IEEE journals. Now, there is mostly electronics, computing,
physics, optics.
Yeah. But what I would say generally about databases is don't get too hung up on what you think might be a management database or might be an engineering database. If you've got a search, try it in all of these, because you might be surprised about what comes up. So I think that's generally what I recommend, is just try it in everything. Now, as part of our subscription, we've got for the years 2005 to present, so that's a good 10 years worth of information. But if you search it, you will notice that you get abstracts as well, going back a lot further than that.
Look, there's over 3 million papers on there.
I'd rub my knees, but you can't see it on camera, thankfully. It's the sort of thing that librarians get excited about. So I'm going to do a quick search for fault. Oh, I can never spell this. Tolerant flight control. That is a very quick search there. Yeah, it's always a bit slow, this one. Okay, so what you see, you've got little locks down the right-hand side. Now, that means that we don't get full text to those. So, if you don't want to be disappointed and you really just want the stuff that we have subscription to, there's two things you can do. You can either change so that it's newest first, and we've done this in quite a few other databases, so it's the same thing that you can do. But the best thing is really, under all results, just change it to my subscribed content, because then you will only get things displaying that you've got full text access to. I think that's the best tip. And then you can either read the abstract, you can do a HTML version, or then you can download. And again, I won't do it now because it'll probably take a little while to load. It's very, very easy. And this also has search alerts on it. Click on there. Again, register for a free account, and then you're away to set up alerts. It works very similar to what we've shown you in other databases. So finally, earlier on, we mentioned a reference management software system. So we're going to go back into useful websites, and at the bottom of this section, we've got a link to Mendeley. Now, I don't know, do you want to describe what Mendeley is? Because you're better at it than I am.
Okay, so I'm actually one of the Mendeley advisors, or the Mendeley advisor for the university, and basically Mendeley works similar to how, I don't know if when you were here you used something like RefWorks or ProSite. So it's reference management software. It's completely free to anybody, but as well as allowing you to manage references, it also is quite a good way of storing your PDF files. So investigate. It might be something that you think you won't be interested in, or if you think that you want to be a bit more organised with your PDFs, definitely have a look at Mendeley. There's lots and lots of help and support out there for you. They've got loads of videos on YouTube, lots of help. So definitely worth a look. And there's also a searchable crowdsourced database of about 400 million papers on there. And if you find a paper that looks interesting and it's an open access paper, you can very quickly and easily open that paper and save it into your Mendeley database. So generally there are two versions of Mendeley. There's the desktop version and a web version. So my advice is download the desktop version onto any PC that you use frequently, so perhaps one at home, one at work, and then use the web version for any PC that you don't use very often. It also has an Apple app that you can get off the Apple Store, so you can access and read your PDFs whilst you're on the move. And they are hoping to release their Android one in the next few weeks. So really excellent software, and we are actually replacing our RefWorks subscription and going with Mendeley from the end of the year.
Yeah, just to mention that it's not the only system available. There are two
there
other
are
big
others,
free.
but
We've mentioned on this page the Terra and Colwiz, a bit funny sounding. But they do essentially the same thing. We've just found that Mendeley is probably the best overall, and that's why we've selected it for you to use. But by all means, do have a look at Cetera and Colwiz, because sometimes the terminology or just the way it works kind of might just work better for the way that you work. So have a little look. But yeah, I think if you're definitely carrying on with research as you use it, but if you are one of those people that likes to be organised and is likely to download a lot of papers, not share them, download them. But this is a system you might want to use. And as I say, that there are lots of good online guides that we've linked to, but we might maybe put something together. Or again, we could do another webinar. If lots of people are interested,
we can do that.
Come along,
It has a PDF viewer on it to allow you to read and annotate papers as well. So it's really good. So if people were interested, we could definitely do a session on Mendeley. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's it,
what
really.
we wanted to say.
So that's useful, and say we're happy to take any questions.
Perhaps you could just mention, as you go into the list of databases available on Alumni Online, how somebody would sort of differentiate between which one is best to go to first, what their sort of categories are that they work within.
Well, as I said, each database here has a little description, so have a look and see. So we try to give an idea of what's in there. But as I said earlier, I wouldn't get too hung up on the fact it's a management database, because you can be really surprised by what's in there. So I would say have a little experimentation. But generally speaking, ABI and EBSCO are really good for management. We've got IEEE, which is on engineering. Stage, which I say is multidisciplinary, particularly on sciences, is good material science, engineering. One that we haven't looked at today, and we can always come back and do that some other time, is the Sustainable Organisation Library. This was really good last year. I don't know if anyone attended the alumni symposium last year, which was exactly on sustainability, and we were tweeting away, weren't we, while it was happening, and saying, have a look at the Sustainable Organisation Library, because one of the gentlemen that was speaking at that had papers published in SOL. So that one's a little bit different, which I suppose why we haven't demonstrated it today.
We also have a colleague who's looking at a piece of software that we have called EDS. So what it would mean is that you would go to the EDS service and you would be able to search all of these databases simultaneously. But we're having a few issues with that. But we're aware that that would be a really useful thing if we can get the technical issues
We've got
solved.
it for our customer students here.
Yeah.
And it's really easy because you get like a Google type search box. We are working very closely with EBSCO, but it is quite difficult to get these things sorted out. But hopefully in future you just have one search box, you can type in whatever you're interested in and it will just bring back results, which I think is what you would really be interested in, really. I hope that answers the question.
Great.
Okay.
And white papers was another thing mentioned. Are they white papers, the PDF, or is there a particular database that's best for those?
What do you mean, government white papers?
They're generally.
Or working papers?
Oh.
What? Not sure what kind of white papers you mean. Sorry? Yes. If you can be a bit more
And
specific about
papers,
our working papers. Tracy.
I think EBSCO would definitely cover them and ABI.
Right.
Okay,
Okay, and Cranfield's working papers would be on Cranfield series. So you can certainly log into that and search Cranfield PhD thesis and view the full text too. Journal preprints, peer-reviewed journal reprints, and book chapters, working papers, and technical reports. So working papers from Cranfield you can get through Cranfield series. So I hope that answered your question. And Tracy says otherwise EBSCO and ABI for working papers.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else coming up?
Feel free to send a few questions through on the chat if you'd like.
If you do think of anything after the fact, that's absolutely fine. You can either send a question to the alumni office, or you have our direct email, libraryalumni@cranfield.ac.uk. We'd be very happy to take questions at any time. So.
Oh, another question. Do we have access to a, I'm not sure if this is initials or how you pronounce it, RAES journal? I'd
have to
set up
Royal Aeronautical Society journal. Is there a quick way of checking that, Rachel, or can we get back to you?
Well, at the moment, no. If we had the one search, it'd be really good. Now, what I've tried to do from the question I had the other day is a database where we have a list of journals that are included within that. I've put a link there, but we only have 2 at the moment, so I'm trying to add it in. So we probably need to have a look, because we obviously can't remember there are thousands of journals in the database, so probably we don't know individual journals off by heart. The only one I know we don't have is Harvard Business Review. So what we'll do is we'll look it up and we'll get back to you and let you know as soon as possible. But if you want to have a little play later, I'd probably head for EBSCO as a starting point. But off the top of my head, I don't know, because it's from a society.
Yeah,
so
I think it's fairly unlikely, but we will check it for you.
We'll get back to you.
Okay, fabulous. Very much
Appreciate
appreciated there.
Okay.
Just check if any more questions have come in that we've missed. Just to repeat that we have recorded this, and so we can send this and share it with you for future, so you can pick up on these good tips again. If you wanted to as well, you could press the little mute icon by your name in the participant list and just ask a question, if that's more useful than typing. But we'll give you another minute or so if anyone has anything else they're inspired to ask.
While people are thinking about that, just to give you a few ideas of where we want to take the service, obviously working very close with the alumni office to find out what it is that you really want from us, because we go out and we try and negotiate deals with vendors. So we are working on a few more at the moment. So if say we find that the RAES journal isn't included and you would really like that, then let us know, and then perhaps we can sort of negotiate and see whether we can get that included in our subscription. So we really need some feedback from you as to the journals that you're reading, the areas that you're interested in, because quite feasibly, even though you've graduated from a particular course at Cranfield, your interest may have changed since then, because we saw the list of people that had logged in or wanted to join the course. Some of you have graduated quite a long time ago. You might not be working in the same field that you graduated in, so we don't like to assume that what your interests are what they were when you were at Cranfield.
Great, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks very much,
you very
everybody.
much.
Hope that was useful.
I hope you found it useful. Thank you.